A very good evening. We're coming to you live from our Pocket Studios here in the capital, Harare. You're watching the Sunday edition. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Tanaka Mnyenyua.
My name is Joyce Mabika. Nobu Mangwa is on sign language, and these are our leading stories tonight.
In our first headline, Zimbabweans experience practical benefits of the government's renewed focus on service delivery.
In our science and technology feature tonight, our reporter Panashe Nagoli looks at harnessing drone technology to provide medical delivery services.
The 66th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair generates over 600 million United States dollars. That in our look at Sunbiz tonight.
Caps United beat Highlanders by 2-1 in an exciting PSL match. That and more in our sports buzz, where those are some of the stories to look forward to in this Sunday edition. And I'll give you the news in detail. Most local authorities are implementing the government's blueprint, a call to action, no compromise to service delivery, marking a significant turning point in the restoration of basic municipal services that had deteriorated in the past.
The era of poor service delivery is becoming a thing of the past, as local authorities are now tasked with implementing the call to action, no compromise to service delivery blueprint. It appears that the initiative has moved beyond being a policy document into tangible projects with high impact on communities in areas of water supply, waste management and road rehabilitation projects.
We've had a symbiotic relationship with the government and the private sector. One of the landmark initiative being championed by His Excellency President Idi Mnangagwa is the Geopomona waste collection PPP, which encompasses the management of the Pomona dump site itself and also the collection of garbage. So trucks have returned to the streets. There's also another initiative under HELCRO and the ministry and the City Council, which is to do with the introduction of prepaid smart water meters and the refurbishment of Morton Jeffrey Waterworks. And this has brought significant changes. Areas that have not had water, replacement of the asbestos pipes with PVC pipes.
change chizokwanisa kunge pachivhurwa nepartner yedu vanova vekwangu vachigadzira zvewater and sewer munzvimbo yachona mvura ichatorwa kubva kumuchekeranwa.
Residents are beginning to experience the practical benefits of the government's renewed focus on service delivery.
It's a huge improvement, pipes, infrastructure, prepaid meter takaisiro zvoita kuti tikwanise kushandisa mvura zvakanaka.
It's not just kuti takaisirwa prepaid meters, but they've also went on kuchinja the infrastructure. Marara edu anotakurwa every Wednesday neGeopomona waste.
Just recently kune areas akada sana border vanga vaine 20-30 years vasina mvura, but recently we saw my residents tichifara and kuti mvura yakutanga kubuda. So we are saying kuti the call to action, I think it was a game changer yakaitwa na president.
While commissioning new equipment at Geopomona waste management in Harare, President Emmerson Mnangagwa called for a radical shift in urban governance, urging local authorities to integrate private sector synergies into broader development strategies to ensure efficient service delivery and sustainable urban growth.
Private sector and local authorities synergies must be incorporated into the broader urban development strategies across Zimbabwe so that more of our people benefit from efficient waste management frameworks. Aspects to do with employment creation, energy generation, sustainable urban development, public health, as well as climate adaptation and resilience remain critical in the projects of this nature. No one and no place should be left behind.
Launched by the President, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa in 2023, the call to action no compromise to service delivery blueprint was designed to improve service delivery and align local governance with the country's vision of becoming an upper middle income society by 2030. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
Hundreds of ZANU-PF party members gathered for a solidarity rally in support of the Constitutional Amendment and Number 3 Bill at Mutare Teachers College in Manicaland Province this Sunday.
Addressing the ruling ZANU-PF party members at this gathering, the ZANU-PF National Secretary for Legal Affairs, Comrade Patrick Chinamasa, unpacked the legal and ideological justification for the bill, noting that it was a strategic move to safeguard the country's sovereignty. He said the amendment bill ensures that the developmental trajectory set by the Second Republic is not disrupted by frequent high-stakes elections.
Viri kuti baba Mnangagwa nekugona basa komaita panyaya dzezvedevelopment tiri kuda kuti murambe takakusungai pagejo redevelopment kusvika 2030.
The provincial ruling party leadership used the platform to unpack the bill, saying it is a necessary evolution for Zimbabwe's governance and a cornerstone for achieving Vision 2030.
Ndinoda kukurudzira kubatana kwemwana upi neupi weZANU-PF. Chinangwa chedu ndechimwe chete. Chinangwa chedu ndechebill number 3.
Vanhu vakaungana, vanhu vakataura zvavanoda zvamunoziva imi zvekusapota bill ravo, asi chatiri kutenda ndechekuti mabvuma kudaro zvinoreva kuti parliament ichangopedzisa basa rasara.
Toda kutenda zvakare ivo president vedu chaivo nebasa rese ravakaita. Zvino basa ravo ndiro ravo vasungirira kuti vanzi nevanhu famba Mnangagwa famba. Vanhu vari kuti aiwa 2030 ngaende mberi. Vanhu vari kuti constitutions ngaiamendwe.
Tiri kutsigira amendment bill number 3 kuti zviende mberi zvichiitwa nenguva yakafanira.
Mayuth ari kutsigira amendment bill number 3 not nekuti chinhu chiri kure. Tiri kutoona 2030 nhasi uno.
During the event, the ruling party's commitment to those who fought for the nation was further solidified through the official handover of 2 bore drilling rigs specifically dedicated to the war veterans in Manicaland Province.
Hakuna any political party in this country in a divine power kutaura pamusoro pezvinokuitika nenyaya dzezvematongerwo enyika munyika muZimbabwe munomu kunze kweZANU-PF.
Meanwhile, the bill is currently in the committee reporting stage, where Parliament is synthesizing public feedback and written submissions ahead of the bill's formal introduction for its second reading in the National Assembly. Gaima Tambo, ZBC News, Mutare.
Zimbabwe is ready to host the 23rd UN Tourism Committee on Tourism and Sustainability meeting alongside the 2nd Regional Congress on Women Empowerment in Tourism in Africa. The 2 high-level gatherings are expected to shape the future of sustainable and inclusive tourism across the continent.
The UN tourism leadership arrived in the country this Sunday ahead of 2 major conferences, receiving a warm reception from the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rodzi. The delegation's arrival marks the commencement of a week-long series of strategic engagements aimed at shaping the future of continental and global tourism. Speaking on the development, Minister Rodzi said Zimbabwe is honored to host the Committee on Sustainable Tourism, a prestigious platform that brings together member states to deliberate on global tourism sustainability.
Overjoyed right now as we have just received the team from UN Tourism yet again in our country since 2024 July. The Secretary General, who is a new lady in charge of the UN Tourism, has just arrived with this whole team, and they are here for 2 main events. That is the Committee on Sustainable Tourism, which Zimbabwe is a part of, together with other 10 members, and we are happy to be hosting this very important meeting.
Beyond sustainability, the city is bracing for a landmark gathering focused on the empowerment of women in tourism businesses across Africa.
We are expecting huge numbers to be coming on the 29th of April on Wednesday, where our First Lady, who is the patron of tourism and hospitality industry in Zimbabwe, is going to be the guest owner. She's going to meet all these women. We have thousands and thousands of women who are coming on this day.
In addition, Zimbabwe will host the inaugural meeting to lay the groundwork for the International Year of Sustainable and Resilient Tourism 2027, recently declared by the United Nations General Assembly. Meanwhile, the UN tourism delegation proceeded to visit the majestic Victoria Falls, where the team took time to experience the smoke that thunders. The visit served as a powerful reminder of the natural heritage that Zimbabwe has and how committed the country is to preserving it through sustainable tourism initiatives. Land Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, in a huge vote of confidence, has extended the staff monitoring program as it continues to back Zimbabwe's macroeconomic roadmap.
For the first time in almost 3 decades, Zimbabwe has achieved a single-digit annual inflation figure following years of grappling with monetary policy issues and successive collapses of the local currency. The IMF World Bank spring meetings held in Washington, D.C. a fortnight ago confirmed the credibility of the country's macroeconomic roadmap associated with prudent budget measures, effective expenditure control, and a tight monetary policy framework that has culminated into a stable ZiG currency backed by at least US $1.4 billion in reserves. Economist Professor Gift Mugano notes that the IMF endorsement demonstrates that Zimbabwe has struck the right chord in its economic policy implementation.
The critical thing which comes out of this arrangement is that Zimbabwe will be certified. The IMF stand in as an international commission of oath in court to certify that what Zimbabwe is saying is correct. So to give kind of a certification. And this also gives a credibility to the narrative that we have a stable macroeconomic environment.
These structural economic policy reforms have put the country on a robust economic trajectory.
The spring meetings have given thumbs up for Zimbabwe and has signaled intent actually for the SMP program to be adopted and be given to Zimbabwe as a way of confidence building mechanism, and most importantly, buttress the existing benefits and gains that have been achieved in the economy in many aspects, the monetary fund, the fiscal fund, the productive fund.
At the same IMF World Bank spring meetings, Zimbabwe was ranked as one of the fastest growing economies in the sub-Saharan region, growing more than the regional average. Hence, the extension of the staff monitoring program signals the continued success of the country's economic blueprint to sustain this growth. Owen Malova, ZBC News, Harare.
The 26-kilometer Muchekeranwa-Wenimbi water transfer project, which is expected to be complete within a year, has recorded significant progress. Let's get more details.
For several years, Wenimbi Dam, which supply irrigation water to surrounding farms and communities, as well as Marondera town, has not been able to harness enough water, prompting government to invest in a water transfer program from the recently completed Muchekeranwa Dam. Resident engineer from Muchekeranwa-Wenimbi pipeline project, Joe Mbata, revealed that the establishment of the pumping stations has recorded significant progress, with the pipes for the 26-kilometer water pipeline having been procured, with the target to commission the project early next year.
I'm happy to report that we've currently completed the first reservoir at Poster Station number 1. We've also managed to complete pump house number 1. The reservoir is 100% complete, and the pump house shell is now complete. What is outstanding is the roofing and the actual installation of the pumps. We anticipate, if everything goes well, that by the end of this year we should be substantially complete, with a tentative commissioning of the project probably set for the end of the first quarter of the year 2027.
Despite the heavy rains recorded last year, Zinga officials revealed that Wenimbi Dam is still at 35% full. Hence, the news on the progress of the pipeline has been met with excitement by farmers who were facing water crisis.
Kuzoshomeka kwemvura zvirimwa zviri kurimwa nemafamasi zviri kushaya mvura.
Tatosafoketa nekupera kwaita demu nofunga mumatoriona demu rajistate here of today.
Nzira ratachita ndekuti mvura iri kushota. Saka tikufara zvikuru kuti hurumende yedu iri kuda kuti batsira nekuti idhonze mvura kubva kumuchekeranwa demu.
The development dovetails with plans by Marondera Town Council to expand its water treatment plant.
In terms of the treatment plant, we are saying the council has since resolved that there is a need to augment the existing infrastructure. We intend to increase treatment capacity from 13.5 megaliters to 30. And in terms of capital outlay, what we require is USD 15 million.
The Michekerana Wenimbi Water Transfer Project is one of the key investments aimed at improving water supply for both agricultural activities and urban expansion, with the Kunji Dam also in Mashonaland East Province and the Gwai Shangani Dam in Matebeleland among national water projects. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Marondera.
The Second Republic's commitment to rural industrialization is on course, with the people of Mhlazi in Kezi reaping benefits from a recently established village unit.
Still basking in the glory of having successfully hosted the 46th National Independence Celebrations at Mapisa, the people of Matobo continue to receive life-changing projects from the government, with Mhlazi village here in Kezi having seen the construction of this village business unit that is transforming lives here.
Ekubhadaleleni abantwana esikolo. So njengalokho sihlanyele i-sugar beans sesikhangelele ukuthi ingxenye yazo sizayenza isitshebo, ingxenye yazo
emakhaya sesaswela ukuthi sithenge impuphu ngesikhathi se-drought nxa kuyikuthi ukuthile emasimini siyazuza imali yokuthi sithenge impuphu.
Silabantwana abama-child headed la lama-orphans nje amaningi. So nxa silokudla khona lokhu siyenelisa ukuthi babe lokudla okulomsoco.
Government continues to climate-proof agriculture through the establishment of village business units, with plans to establish these kind of village business units in all the 35,000 villages across the country.
Amanzi asomanzi kuphela kodwa kuyikutshintsha impilo zabantu indlela besiphila ngayo. Singakhumbula endulo sizakhumbula imithombo abantu begebha imithombo amanzi asegcekeni okunatha yonke into ukuchiyo lapha kaProfessor Sibanda ukuthi sabe sibangisana amanzi lezinyamazana.
But Tebelon South, like many parts of Zimbabwe, has borne the brunt of the El Nino-induced drought in 2024 that has devastated communities across our nation. This was compounded by the arid and semi-arid character of this region, which continue to place considerable strain on local livelihoods. The impact was particularly felt among our children who face difficulties in accessing clean water and drinking water. It undermines their hygiene, compromising their health and disrupting their education at times.
The establishment of this village business unit and a solarized borehole is going to have an impact on more than 400 households here in Kezim. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News.
Research in sugarcane farming has been identified as a key enabler for improving yields, enhancing disease resistance, and ensuring economic stability for farmers. The Zimbabwe Sugar Association Experiment Station has come up with a hot water treatment process for cane seed, expected to improve yields through better pest and disease control.
The Zimbabwe Sugar Association Experiment Station has introduced hot water treatment for cane seed, with the process expected to enhance productivity while improving the quality of cane, and this is being done through continuous research to come up with efficient and effective ways of pest and disease control in sugarcane farming. Senior plant pathologist Mr. Petros Rotete takes us through the process of cane treatment.
When we talk of hot water treatment now, what are we doing? We are killing the bacteria
that causes RSD, or the bacteria that clogs the xylem vessels. In the tank, we have got heating elements which heat up the water. When we heat up the water, we are looking to work at temperature. The standard temperature is 50 degrees centigrade, and the can that you see here must be in the tank for a minimum of 2 hours or 120 minutes. Within that period, obviously the bacteria that will be resident in the stock will then be killed.
The plant has a capacity to treat 5 tons of cane per day.
Can handle sufficient cane to plant half a hectare per day. This means that we can treat 5 tons of cane per day.
The treatment process also reduces production costs.
End results, higher yields to the farmer, no bacteria in your cane. Also, your production costs in terms of disease and pest management will be reduced.
Since the establishment of the Sugarcane Experiment Center, there has been a development of new high-yielding varieties which adapt to changing climates and an improvement in crop and resource management, such as optimized fertilization and irrigation. Funga Ijachi, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
A call has been made for stakeholders to guard against children finding themselves in recreational places meant for adults. Now, this comes as more underage children have been seen frequenting places of entertainment, raising concerns of child exploitation as well as trafficking.
Children under the age of 18 being seen frequenting places such as bars, nightclubs and liquor stores, a situation that does not only expose these minors to dangerous substances, but to certain untoward behaviors too. Parents, bar owners, and the community in general have been cited as culprits in perpetuating this situation.
Isusu vabereki tisinotori nedambudziko nekuti isusu tisi kutanga kutuma mwana kunotenga doro kubhawa totuma mwana unotengera mbanje, saka what do you expect next?
Kuti vanhu vebhawa ndo vari kukanganisa kutengesera vana vari under 18 doro, nekuti zvinhu izvi zvakanyorwa nyango padoro kuti doro ritengesere mwana ari under 18.
Isusu vabereki tiri wiki pakuprotecta vana, tiri kuwanzopa vana mukana stereki wekunda kunotamba. Sapa kunotamba nevanhu vavanosangana navo, vanhu vanokwanisa kuenda se pota vachisvika nzvimbo idzodzo ende vachidzidziswa zvinhu zvakashata zvakafanana nembanje, madrugs.
Mwana even akauya achingotenga doro kana fodya obuda, ane environment yaatozviita exposed to. Aona vanhu vari kusvuta fodya, vamwe vakapfeka zviri inappropriate, saka zvinomuexposa otanga kufunga kuti upenyu ihwohwo huri right.
Behavioral psychology studies highlight that children learn from their environments, which is the reason why some stakeholders in the entertainment business believe they also have a duty to guard against exposing children to their products and services.
Beside kutsvaga mari muri pabusiness, chinhu chamunofanira kutarisa ndechekuziva kuti tiri vabereki, ende ukaona mwana wako achipinda mbhawa chinhu chakashata, nokuti mbhawa munoitwa zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana, munosangana vanhu vakanaka, vanhu vakaipa. Saka ndononge iri nhau yakanaka kuti mwana anofanira kusiyiwa achipinda mbhawa, asi panapa patinoshandira panapa toto make sure takaona kuti mwana asatombotanga kupinda mbhawa, tine security yedu inogara padoro. As long as under 18.
A wholesome approach where all hands are on deck has also been cited as critical in nipping this growing problem in the bud.
The police should make sure that the routine inspections are done so as to create heavy penalties for establishments that admits minors and hold owners accountable. We do believe that the communities, from the traditional leaders, schools and churches, should report violations so as to create safe spaces and urge appropriate recreational spaces.
With government stepping up efforts to ensure the protection of children's rights through numerous policy measures, complementing these steps is envisaged to contribute to the safety of children. Tobias Mudzingwa, ZBC News, Harare.
Oh, it is our responsibility to protect children from unsafe environments. On that note, we take a break. Join us after this.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is pleased to advise the public that the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes are now in circulation, effective 7 April 2026. The new Big 5 ZiG banknote series has been distributed across the country in sufficient quantities to meet anticipated cash demand. The rollout begins with 10 ZiG, 20 ZiG, and the new 50 ZiG note. The 100 ZiG and 200 ZiG will be introduced gradually. 1 ZiG, 2 ZiG and 5 ZiG coins remain in circulation, and the previous ZiG banknotes will continue to circulate alongside the upgraded Big 5 ZiG notes. They will gradually be phased out. The upgraded ZiG banknotes are available through banks, ATMs, and HomeLink kiosks nationwide. Let's embrace and use the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes with pride and confidence. ZiG. Stable, secure, sustainable.
This April, the heartbeat of global tourism echoes from Africa. Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe proudly welcomes the world to the 23rd UN Tourism Committee on Tourism and Sustainability and the 2nd UN Tourism Regional Congress on Women's Empowerment in Tourism in Africa, hosted in the iconic tourism city of Victoria Falls from the 27th of April to the 1st of May 2026. Leaders, innovators and stakeholders converge for high-level engagement, shaping the future of tourism by advancing sustainability, women's empowerment, leadership and economic inclusion across the continent and beyond, held under the esteemed patronage of Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, whose impactful grassroots programs continue to transform communities and position women as key drivers of tourism development. Zimbabwe stands as a leading model of progressive and inclusive global tourism governance. Experience Zimbabwe from the majestic Victoria Falls to the ancient wonders of Great Zimbabwe. From breathtaking wildlife encounters to vibrant cultural experiences, where warm hospitality embraces you, where our cuisine tells rich stories of tradition and culture, and where our authentic heritage comes alive in every moment. Come be part of the conversation. Come shape the future. Come and experience Zimbabwe, your gateway to sustainable tourism and empowered futures. Experience Zimbabwe. Nakayebu, Ilefa letu, our heritage. This is us. Zimbo. No choice but to call it beautiful.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Sunday Edition. Communities in Makonde district of Mashonaland West Province still have vivid memories of how Zipra forces successfully battled the Rhodesian forces in the area, leading to the attainment of independence in 1980. Our news crew visited Assembly Point Romeo at Magurekure and filed the following report.
Fellow Zimbabweans, we are on our way to Assembly Point Romeo at Magurekure Primary School in Makonde district. This is the place where Zipra combatants assembled in 1979 and 80 as they awaited the arrival of independence after prosecuting the armed national struggle. So we are going to this assembly point, which the Rhodesians called Assembly Point Romeo, and the local people called it Magurekure Assembly Point. According to the local people, over 5,000 Zipra combatants, the second biggest assembly point for Zipra combatants was this assembly point at Magurekure, or Assembly Point Romeo. We are at Magurekure Primary School in Makonde district. This place was an assembly point for Zipra cadres, known then as Assembly Romeo. Quite a number of Zipra cadres were assembled here, and we happened to to catch up with Sabuku Stanley Majari.
Panapa mazipura vaifamba vachirwisa mabhunu. Vaifamba nzvimbo dzakareba pazuva 10 k's 20 k's vachibva neZambia. Vakagara muno tiri navo.
Pakazonzi hondo yapera. Wakabva wauya panapa?
Ndobva vauya.
Waisvika wangani?
Namba yanga yakawandisa.
Mabhunu ndiwo akaisa ere matenga?
Aiwa, akaiswa vanonyaradza vaiva neti hondo yapera.
MaBritish akauya. Asi munoziva ere mamwe makomrades acho anga ari munomu eZipra, wakuru wacho?
Ndine wandinoziva nditoguva naJoe Big Joe.
Kupa mutauro maigona kutaura nawo sei?
Kwaisisu taiva mashona ivo vaiva mandevere, saka urimi hwavo vaita kukusesekedza. Havangu vakazara makomwesa.
Wachibva nekupi kwaibva kwacho, waitoromba kupi futi?
Futi kuMozambique. Ndiko vayambuka nako.
Muchiruziwa mwacho masitawo?
Kana anambobvunda masitawo vaichisa kubvunda.
Asi kunoku kwese kwakarohwa neZipra.
Zipra ndiyakashanda but nepamwe chete nezana ndiyakatanga kuuya ndokuzopinda Zipra. Zana yaka yachipfuura ichipinda ichienda nekuzowako.
But kusvika kwazvimba kwese yanga yaZipra.
Nyika yanga yatozarira. Nesitata kutozofarira futi kuti kana zvakadaita kutopinda.
Mauda kutoendawo? Hamuna kuzoenda ka?
Ndakaona ndachembera.
So this struggle was a people's struggle, as many Zipra combatants paid the supreme sacrifice in these lands. It could be in Hurungwe, it could be in Ikuruwe, it could be in Makonde, Jimba, Mangura, to mention but a few. They traversed the length and breadth of this country, fighting for freedom and independence of every Zimbabwean. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, Makonde.
Teachers in Bulawayo have welcomed a housing stands program being spearheaded by the Zimbabwe Teachers Association, ZIMTA, describing the initiative as a major boost towards ownership and improved welfare.
Teachers from various schools in Matabeleland region this Saturday received residential stands under a program aimed at providing decent accommodation for educators and complementing government efforts to improve living conditions for civil servants. The handover was held in Vulindlela, Matabeleland South Province, with at least 59 educators receiving certificates and residential allocations.
Life yedu as teachers asi takajoina program iyi tikava nechivimbo chokuti zvinobudirira muzuva ranhasi tafara chose nekupiwa mastands atapiwa nhasi.
Mina kuyangijabulisa ukuthi ngentanga yami sengizakhona ukuba nomuzi wami engobiza nti kungekhaya lapha edolobheni laKwaBulawayo. Sithanda ukubonga kakhulu, sigcwele ukujabula okumangalisayo.
ZIMTA says the program is being implemented nationwide and complements government efforts to provide decent accommodation for teachers.
Nyaya yedu huru inyaya yekuti tiwanise vadzidzisi pekugara pakanaka panoenderana navo nebasa ravanoita. Chirongwa ichi chirongwa chiri kucomplementa maefforts anoitwa negovernment ekuprovide decent accommodation for teachers. Aya mastands amuri kuona nhasi apiwa maticha aya ari fully serviced, marodhi aripo, mvura dziri kutoiswa, masuwa pipes zvese zviripo zvakagadzirwa.
The housing initiative is expected to ease accommodation challenges being faced by teachers while promoting home ownership and improved welfare across the country.
With only a few days left before schools open their doors for the second term, schools across the country are putting final touches in place to ensure a smooth reopening.
In a survey carried out by this news crew in Harare this Saturday, it was all hands on deck with prospective learners and parents visiting various learning institutions. Parents expressed satisfaction with modern school infrastructure developed by local schools, highlighting how it directly shapes student development.
They are up to standard, and they've designed their classrooms to include the digital world.
Tichitaurawo nekuembresa technology. Ndaonawo computers anga aripo nefurniture yacho kuti zvinoita kuti mwana abatsirikane pakudzidza kwake.
Kuvana zvakavakoshera vanopiwa grounding yakasimba.
Director Harvard Group of Schools, Dr. Lois Magweba, expressed commitment to complementing government efforts to ensure that no learner is left behind in terms of accessing quality education.
Donzo riripo nderekuvandudza tichitevedzera pfungwa dzine government yedu kurongeka kwavakaita kuti toita sei kuti tisumudzire dzidzo munyika yedu nokuti muzvikoro ndiko kwakafanana nokuvaka nyika.
Advancing the Education 5.0 model remains a key priority for education institutions across the country.
Tagadzirira kuvhura tichitenda tichiteedzera zvido nezvinangwa zvehurumende tichitarisa kuumbidza the heritage based curriculum.
Tiri kuita zvose zvatinogona kutsvaga mishina ingadiwa kuti vana vedu vadzidze zvichienderana nechimanje manje.
The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education applauded public-private partnerships for yielding positive outcomes.
Pane mazwi anogara taurwa nemukuru wenyika wekuti no one should be left behind, no place should be left behind. Ndo zvatiraona zvichisadzikisa nezviri kuitwa nema-private players edu. Kumeka sure kuti vaya vana vanga vachishawa kwekuinda vanobva vapawana ende vachipa.
In line with the National Development Strategy 2, the government is advancing schools infrastructure development and digital learning in order to improve learner performance. Festus Mkunguru says ZBC News, Harare.
For more information, remember you can always visit our website www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can as well interact with us on our social media platforms at ZBC News Online. The Sunday edition takes a break. Just stay with us.
Welcome to a decade of innovation, a legacy of trust, as Oxford Properties celebrates 10 years of excellence, from the success of Aspendale Park to our newest vision. We invite you to discover Borrowdale Park. Experience premium stands ranging from 400 to 800 square meters, with flexible payment plans designed for your future. Perfectly situated less than 5 kilometers from Sam Levy's village, this is where convenience meets sophistication. This is a complete lifestyle sanctuary, a secure, gated community featuring on-site schools, a medical clinic, and a modern shopping mall. From our dynamic business park to paved wellness trails and dedicated sports facilities, every detail, including a dedicated fire station, is built into the heart of the community. With title deeds guaranteed and professionally designed house plans ready for you, your peace of mind is our priority. Borrowdale Park. Designed for living.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Sunday edition. Thank you for staying with us. Meanwhile, along the stretch of the Bulawayo Victoria Falls Road in Gwai Lupani district of Matabeleland North Province, a quiet transformation is taking shape, one molded by hand, fired by determination and sustained by community effort. Tichauna Kurewa was in Gwai recently and he gives us more information in our This and That feature.
Driving from Bulawayo to Victoria Falls or vice versa, it is hard to miss ceramic products displayed along the roadside in Gwai. Ceramics are a type of solid material that is inorganic and non-metal, generally formed from blends of clay, powder and water.
Ceramics can also be loosely defined as pottery, an art which is odd as humanity, depicted by clay pots in the village. The probable question is, how are they made and where? At the heart of this initiative is the Kalaga Producers Cooperative, where members are turning locally sourced clay into marketable ceramic products, creating a vital source of income in the process.
So clay yatholakala from 1.5 meters usiya phansi okuyikuthi ungayigebha almost 6 meters ukuclay. So clay yethu deposit yakhona inengi.
The production process, which began in 1987 and faced numerous challenges along the way, requires careful attention, patience, and skill. These attributes, alongside resilience and innovations, have propelled the art come science to this day.
Amathani sisuke emashelfini laphana abuye ngena lapha ku-kiln, which is an oven. Lapha achiswa khona, esingathi they are baked inside here at 1160 degrees C, ukuthi aqine. Everything okubunjwayo ngale konke, from tiles to flower pots and everything, ama artifacts onke lana abuya khona apha ukuthi azechiswa. Konke kuyasebenzisa same temperature.
The hands-on process, though labor-intensive, has become a reliable source of livelihood for cooperative members, including women who see the project beyond income but a pathway to empowerment.
Siyabumba into eziningi lapha, asibumbi imbiza kuphela, asibumbi ma bed bath stands kuphela, sibumba into ezijiyene enyamazana ezokucecisa. Despite their progress, the 35-member cooperative faces challenges that limit expansion.
We sell these locally by the roadside, and some are sold in the cities and towns of Zimbabwe, and very few export, very little of export. The machinery that we may need, particularly for the tiles, they are hydraulic press. Hydraulic press, they use electricity and oil, of course. Then those are the machines that we may need for the tiles.
As traffic flows along the busy highway, the Gwai Ceramics project stands as a testament to what can be achieved through local resources, shared knowledge, and collective effort. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
As Zimbabwe gradually moves towards full-scale digitization of services in line with government's artificial intelligence strategy, the emergency healthcare service is set for an overhaul through the rollout of a medical services drone delivery program. In our science and technology feature tonight, our reporter Panashe Nagoli looks at harnessing drone technology to provide emergency medical delivery services, especially in once marginalized areas.
The idea of a drone delivery system always seemed like a distant technological dream for Zimbabwe. Government is, however, addressing the situation by intentionally focusing on bringing in modern equipment and crucial services such as the air ambulances to improve the healthcare system. Once marginalized areas in some instances found it difficult to access healthcare. As technology advances, Zimbabwe is catching up, with Mr. Jeremiah Msabayana and his team harnessing the latest technology to modernize healthcare through the introduction of a drone delivery system.
Access to any medicinal or pharmaceutical products is very limited, especially when you are speaking of emergency cases. One is bitten by a snake, one needs to access antivenom and so forth. We then look forward to the hard-to-reach villagers or villages having access to these emergency pharmaceutical or medicinal drugs.
But how exactly does the technology work, and is it feasible operationally?
We are going to be setting up air bridge drone corridors around the country. Ideally, we are going to be having hubs at each and every referral or major hospital around the country. And we shall be setting up small hubs as well on quite a number of the small clinics as well. So these products will be accessed through clinics, through hospitals, and through any other area that can be identified as a hub.
Now, a quick tour of the Drone University Flight School gave us a glimpse into how the drone delivery program will actually work.
What we have here is the kite aero drone. So it is a hybrid drone. This drone is made in such a way that it's easy to use. To say if the drone is to go in a remote location where you have people in the rural areas, all they have to do is they have to just press this button and then the drone will take off. And then you also have your compartment here where you'll be storing your packages, your different packages for transportation within this compartment. And then you also have your forward motors, and then you also have your pitot tubes for testing things like your wind pressure.
Public health expert Dr. George Ripanyanga is of the view that this technology will greatly improve access to universal health care, especially for rural communities.
There is a big gap in terms of delivery of medication. At times you see a patient in rural areas and you prescribe a certain drug. It's not available in the rural areas, so there's difficulties in accessing that drug in rural areas, and that drug is available maybe in urban centers like Harare, Bweru, or even Bulawayo. So it's easy for the drug to be transported from these urban areas, from the capital city or any other big cities to the rural areas, and the cost is going to be very minimal, or it's going to be very cost effective to transport these drugs, which means the ultimate cost to the patient is going to be reduced.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 3 aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all ages by the year 2030. Thus, this program places Zimbabwe a step closer to achieving that goal. Panasha Nagoli, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, the 66th edition of the country's premier trade showcase, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, which brought together over 800 exhibitors from over 30 countries, generated over 600 million United States dollars worth of business leads.
Right here in Bulawayo at the Zimbabwe International Conference and Exhibition Smart City, transactions and leads worth over 600 million United States dollars were generated during the 6-day trade showcase, which ran from Monday to Saturday.
Preliminary analysis indicates over 600 million US dollars worth of business transactions, confirmed orders, and leads that were generated during the show.
This year's trade showcase proved to be bigger and better, as shown by the total exhibition space taken compared to the previous years.
I am pleased to report that ZITF 2026 exceeded its available exhibition space, achieving a utilization rate of 104%, with exhibitors taking up 50,687 square meters against 48,655 installed capacity. A gigantic marquee measuring 2,100 square meters was erected to accommodate an overflow.
Key agreements were also signed during the 6-day trade showcase.
As for ZITF itself, I'm aware of one agreement that was signed during ZITF. I cannot give details at this stage, but that was signed during ZITF, a significant transaction.
The 66th edition of the country's premier trade showcase attracted over 100 new exhibitors. The continued growth of the country's premier trade showcase is an indication that the trade fair remains an important window of the country's trade.
ZITF remains Zimbabwe's premier shop window for investment and industrial growth. This year's oversubscription and strong private sector presence reinforced the message that Zimbabwe is open for business.
The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Company has already set in motion plans for next year's edition, with the company announcing that next year's edition is set to run from the 26th of April to the 1st of May. Lisa Correa, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Well, a fruitful week at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, and that's our Sunbiz. It's now time for the world of sport in our Sports Buzz. Kasolaga Premier Soccer League log leaders Caps United delivered a statement of intent, edging a decade-long drought at Barberfield Stadium with a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Highlanders this Sunday.
Now Kaonga across into the box. Almost! Caps United
The Green Machines title charge continues to gather serious momentum, and this was a result that truly turned heads in one of the toughest venues in local football. Cape United showed grit, composure and belief to finally conquer Barberfields for the first time since 2015. Driven by confidence and tactical discipline, Maki Bekebe struck through two well-executed set pieces. Kuzai Chiguida and Lord Nyaliwa punished the Highlanders' lapse in concentration, both finding space at the back post to give the visitors control of the contest.
From the set piece, they found fortune again.
Boso, unbeaten coming into the clash, refused to go down without a fight. Darlington Cole reignited hope for the home side with 16 minutes left on the clock, setting up a tense finale as Barberfields crowd roared them forward.
A lifeline for Highlanders.
Cape United, however, stood firm under pressure, showing the resilience of joining title contenders to see out a victory and inflict Highlanders' first defeat of the season. The win marks their 7th of the campaign and stretches their lead at the summit to 4 points, further underlining their growing dominance. Meanwhile, at Rufaro Stadium, Dynamos and ZPC Kariba failed to spark, settling for a goalless draw in a match short of clear-cut chances. Lawrence Tusida, ZBC News, Harare.
From the PSL, we take a look at the PNL, where the Premier Netball League hosted its second bubble this Saturday, with matches being hosted at 3 different centres.
Match day 2 in the Premier Netball League saw teams battling for honours at Maimugawe School in Mazowe, with 8 teams battling for points. Pistars were the toss of the day, winning all their matches against the Chiefs, Imbizo and the League Dolphins.
Players asina ma teams ari competitive abantu vachitambira vari kutambira ma teams yayo vachiwana ma wages vamwe vachi like team yakaita semakati high flyers yakatora ma players vachivapa vamwe vachivapa ma scholarship yekuti vaende kuchikoro vamwe vachivapa mabasa sechapungu akapinza vana basa saka izvozvo tozvikurudzira because vari kusumudzira the life of a girl child.
Hosting this game zvandibetsera pakuti ma preparations cancer awareness yatichaita muna October muno Marshall Central province zvakare. It will be a regional awareness campaign yatichahosta a lot of other countries from the southern region tiine vanasikana ivava vamwechetewo vachitamba bhora.
2 other bubbles were played in Harare, with the defending champions ZDF, Big Guns Chapungu and Makati High Flyers all winning convincingly.
Former footballers and local legends have come together to form a team not on big boys to fight drug and substance abuse among retired footballers.
They used to eliminate the streets of Poland. Some were in Kinshasa, others in South Africa, while many of them also made sure that Rufaro Stadium, Barberfield Stadium, Sakuva Stadium and other stadium fans came and went home excited. These are the football legends who have joined hands to form not on big boys, not just for fun, not just for entertainment, but for a bigger cause. This is to fight the scourge of drug and substance abuse that has wrecked societies. These former footballers, some of them who are also affected by this challenge, have come together to make sure that they just not spread the message among themselves, but they're also spreading it to the players who are currently playing at this moment in time.
I want to thank Mayor Wajejena na Buskot ndio wakatipa mkana kuti tukwanise kuya kuno ku not on big boys. I think it's helping us kubatsira futhi ma youngsters neso futhi tichibatsira kuti sawani kwetiri kana tuwani kwa mjimbo dzisiri dzodza like inini personally I'm fighting these things say muno angambo affectwa nezvinhu zvakadai ndikugwisa kuti ndine vamwe vangu each and every time ndowana kuti ndikwanise kuspenda now the more yandokwanisa kuspenda nevamwe vangu ndoona kuti yikundibvisa mune zvinhu zvakawanda zvakaipa.
What is going on these days, most of the soccer players, they are ending up mixing with the wrong people, but us, we decided to come and play soccer so that most of soccer players and soccer legends, they'll come and join us so that we fight this drug abuse.
Chetudonyanya kutinda ana bosa kupanya ne kutraya kudzikisa ratio yema drugs. Kusaid kwedu toramba chi kuti ma former players ramba chiwe bora Tiatry nepatinogona napo kuedza kugara navo pasi tichivaonesawo the good side of nge tichitamba magames yaya.
Dzimwe dzenguva kuti amadrugs kushaya zvekuita, saka kutotamba bhora koko zvimwe zvo zvavanenge vachitoita kunoti zvinenge zvitori nani. Isusu tikuvavarira kuti big boys iende mberi, toda kupinda muT1 kutoimba kwatenge tichiita toichita kuti maplayers edu muground aite manyukunyuku.
The man behind this idea, the chairperson of Big Boys, shares his long-term vision.
It's for those legends, those former players that have been there in our newspapers, in our back pages, in our televisions before, and the communities know them a lot and they look up to them as their role models. And as such, we created these Big Boys for them, particularly so that they continue to be a positive example as we fight against drugs. And so the essence is to make sure that those people are not committed to the scourge of drug abuse that has been hogging our country of late. And essentially, this is Big Boys is our small way to solve a bigger problem, which is drug abuse in our communities, and most people look up to these guys.
Not on Big Boys is currently playing in Division 2 with the long-term vision is to make sure that they gain a promotion to Division 1 before making their way to the Premier Soccer League. That is the long-term vision for this club, where legends have united to make sure that they fight drug and substance abuse. Lawrence Tuseda, ZBC News, Norton.
And that's a look at sports buzz. And now in Showbiz, Amapiano and Zimdanso music were the toast of the weekend as the curtain came down on the country's premier trade showcase, the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair ZITF, this Saturday.
For 6 days, people from across the globe converged in Bulawayo to mainly sell business deals. On the last day, the country, however, took it as an opportunity to showcase Southern African music to international visitors through hosting the April edition of the Harris Music Festival, popularly referred to as the Bulawayo Shutdown Gig. South African headline acts, the likes of Makhatsi, Scott Mapuma, among others, brought fireworks on stage. Zimbabwean acts, the likes of Rinkiti, did not disappoint either as they left fans begging for more. Away from the Bulawayo Shutdown Gig, the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services stand and the Zimbabwe Public Police stand also showcased some of the country's budding talents at the just ended Zimbabwe International Trade Fair. The just ended ZITF proved the country means business and knows how to celebrate it. Lisa Correa, ZBC News.
An exciting weekend it was. It's now time for the weather report and forecast. Up next.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and thank you for joining us for today's edition of the Weather Report and Forecast. In terms of yesterday's rainfall, not much to report. However, by this morning, we had some light drizzle and rain in the southern parts of the country. This was coupled with mostly cloudy and cool morning conditions. Elsewhere, it was mostly clear skies, though with a bit of fog in places such as Plumtree and Chisumbanje.
By afternoon, most places were partly cloudy, although we had a bit of clearing in the southeastern areas with bright and sunny conditions for much of the day. Getting into our satellite picture, we're expecting this clearing to continue in the southeastern areas, although the northern half should have some partly cloudy conditions. By tomorrow, mostly cloudy conditions should be setting in the extreme southeastern parts with some isolated showers by afternoon. In the north, however, it should be partly cloudy. Getting into our minimum temperatures for tonight, it should be mild countrywide, especially along the central watershed, 14 in Gweru, a bit chilly, though 15 in Harare, Gokwe, and Blawayo, and a bit warmer along the Zambezi Valley, Kariba with 20, and Victoria Falls with 17 degrees Celsius, and in Chiredzi as well with 18 degrees Celsius, Gwanda with 17 degrees Celsius, and Mashingo with 16 degrees Celsius. For our maximum temperatures tomorrow, it should be mild, bright and sunny throughout the country, ranging from 28 to 32 degrees Celsius. So remember to keep hydrated and carry a sun hat as needed. Getting into our detailed forecast in Blawayo, it should be warm daytime temperatures for Monday and Tuesday. In Matobo as well, minimum of 16 and a maximum of 30 for tomorrow, with mostly sunny skies, though a bit of a drop on Wednesday with a maximum temperature of 24. In Gwanda, should be warm throughout the day, minimum of 17 with a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius with mostly sunny skies, though a chilly day on Wednesday. In Gweru, we should be having warm daytime conditions, though our temperatures seem to be dropping on Wednesday. In Mashingo, minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 29 for tomorrow, though a maximum of 22 for Wednesday, so remember to have a jacket further into the week. In Mutare, minimum of 15 and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius with mostly sunny skies. In Nyanga, chilly in the morning with 10 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 24 by afternoon. In Marondera, cool in the morning with 12 degrees Celsius and warm by afternoon with a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. In Harare, should be mild in the morning, becoming warm by afternoon with partly cloudy skies for much of this week, though a bit of a breeze on Thursday. In Kadoma, should be warm daytime temperatures for much of the week into Sunday next week. In Chinoy, it should be warm to hot daytime conditions for much of this week as well, although a bit cooler on Thursday. In Victoria Falls, hot and sunny for much of this week, minimum of 17 and a maximum of 30 for tomorrow.
So many thanks there to Runako for giving us the way of the weather. And that's it for this week's Sunday edition. From all of us here, it's good night.
Good night.